Hello and welcome to the chaos. For those of you who have stumbled upon my channel for the first time, I'm Kristen and I run Cheerful Chaos Crafts, which is a crochet plushie business. I do markets. I sell online a little bit. I'm going to get more into that here soon. And I make patterns and make these goofy videos where I talk about going to markets and what I've made, and sometimes about other things like rabbits, because I have those too. So today is going to be kind of a mashup of a market prep and what I've made since the last time I told you kind of video, because I do have a market tomorrow and I have a bunch of stuff that I have made since the last time we did one of those videos that's all going with me to the market tomorrow. So I kind of want to show it to you before we get going. So let's get started with that. I do have my computer here, so most things I should be able to look up the price on. I'm terrible about remembering what prices I put on things if I haven't already put tags on them. And all of this stuff that I'm showing you today does not have tags on it. So that's going to be my next step for today. So what I do with my computer open over here. So if you see me looking over this way, that's what I'm looking at my price lists. And I'll be able to let you know. So let's start with this box. Move these back. I have so many containers of things, y'all, full of stuff. Like here's this box. This is the box of stuffing that I get sent to me every month. So this was the empty box from that. And it is full currently of turtles. Now, you might think that it's like an awful lot of turtles, but I've been obsessed with using up my jumbo yarn, my size 7 weight yarn. So there's actually, I think, only 4 turtles in here. They're just really big ones. And you may have seen them on my TikTok. But I have this lovely lady. Oh, I think I bumped her against my microphone. Look how big she is. She's so huge. So big. So soft. So this is the Parfait XL and Seafoam. I think it's called Seafoam. And then this is actually Sweet Snuggles in stripes. And I cannot remember the name of the stripe. Maybe Cotton Candy or something like that. But it made this lovely, variegated pattern for the shell. So I did it top and bottom on this one. So she's very pretty. This ginormous turtle is going to be $125. It's huge. It's like one of the biggest things I think I've ever made. You've probably seen it on my TikTok. So this one and then the next one I have to show you are both $125 because they're so big and the yarn is rather pricey. So here's number 2, big strawberry turtle. And I did hand crochet the eyes on both of these guys because I did not have safety eyes big enough for this at all. But this is from the, this one is using the Rose and Lily Amigurumi pattern tutorial that they have on their YouTube channel. And I also purchased the PDF just because I've used it a couple times and I really like it. And it's the large size pattern. And this is using Crochet by Jenna's strawberry turtle pattern that she also has a YouTube tutorial for. And again, I think these are both Parfait XL, actually. The Seafoam and the Hibiscus, I think is the color of this one. This is another, not Sweet Snuggles. This is Chanel Home, which is basically the same thing as Sweet Snuggles. It's the Michaels brand yarn. And I think this was the color Agave. I think that's what this was that I did for the stem. And then just some spare, just plain white plush yarn for the strawberry seeds. So she's also $125. My big girl right there. And then using the smaller size turtle pattern from Rose and Lily Amigurumi, I made these 2 guys also out of the jumbo yarn. So see, they have a larger turtle pattern and a smaller turtle pattern. So you can kind of see this is both with the same yarn, so just 2 different patterns. And of course, different hook sizes. No, same hook size, same yarn. So you can see the size difference there between their larger turtle pattern and their smaller turtle pattern in the size 7 jumbo yarn. Of course, if you use sort of the normal size 6 plus yarn that a lot of us use, it's going to come out even smaller than this. But I like this size. I think this is a really nice, huggable size. So still a large turtle. I'm still calling this the large size, and this is like super jumbo. So this guy and the girl that I also made, because I made 2 of these too. Get down to the bottom of this list. That's where that is. Large turtle. That is $68 for this guy and this girl. So, which makes sense. They're about half the size, half the amount of materials, and took about half the time of the larger turtles. So that's half price. So that's those 4. And that was that whole box. So I'm going to actually put them back in the box, because it's been keeping them kind of stored neatly and clean and out of the way. I learned this from Crochet by Jenna, to kind of fold up her little fins and tuck them into the box like that neatly. And it kind of helps keep them from being distorted while they're in the box, which is nice, because sometimes when you pack them away, they can get like bent a little bit. And I mean, it unbends, but it's nice to just have them tucked away nice and neat and safe and sound, so that when you pull them out, they're just ready to go on the shelf or ready to ship to their new home. The 2 jumbos, super jumbos, are both on my Etsy site. So that was like the start of my online sales for something other than patterns. I had a couple patterns up there already, so trying to get into getting plushies up there. So the 2 super jumbos, they're up there, and I'll start putting some other stuff up there probably after this string of markets that I have coming up, because I do have a rather large string of markets coming up. All right, so next we have an Aldi bag full of stuff. And again, this is mostly jumbo yarn. I've been like really trying to use up all this jumbo yarn that I had bought to play around with. So I have a Squish Dino or Octo. This is the All From Jade free pattern that she has on her blog. Let me see if I did the pricing on this one yet. I thought I did. I may not have actually calculated the price, but I know I wrote down all of the stuff that would tell me like the amounts of all of it. So for the Octo, that's what this notebook is for. So yeah, I have all my stuff just listed out. So for the jumbo squish, or the large Octo squish, it was 75 grams of Sweet Snuggles, 18 grams of filling, 2 safety eyes, and it took me 15 minutes. They're so fast. They're so fast to make. So let's just do that real quick. So we've got 18 gram, what did I say? 75 grams of the Sweet Snuggles. So Sweet Snuggles comes out to 4 cents a gram. So the way I do that is I do the 0.04 times 75 grams. So that gives me $3 worth of materials just making it. I times that by 3, because I want enough to replace what I made to make a second one, or yeah, to pay for what went into the first plush, to make a replacement plush, assuming this one sells, and to make another plush to grow the business. So that's where the 3 times the cost of the materials comes in. So that's $9 worth of materials for that one in Sweet Snuggles. And then the filling is 1 cent per gram, and that was 18 grams. So it's another 18 cents times 3. So 0.18 times 3 equals plus the 9. So now we're up to $9.54 in cost of materials. The safety eyes are 5 cents per eye. So that's 10 cents. So that would be another 30 cents. That's $9.84 just in cost of materials for that one. My time, like I said, was 15 minutes. It's a really, really fast one. So remember, $9.84. And then we had 15 minutes times, no, that's not what I need to do. I need to do 15 minutes is 1/4. So 0.25 times 20, because I give myself $20 an hour. So it's $5 in my time. So $5 plus the 9.84, $14.84. Add in sales tax, $14.84 plus $1.07. So $16. That's what this guy will be. $16. So that's how I work at my prices. And I did it all by hand this time because I didn't want to do the copy paste of the calculations and whatever. But I do usually let Excel kind of do it, and then I have a master list then of the plushies and like what they cost. Okay, so Octo Squish, Jumbo Octo Squish, or Large Octo Squish. I don't know what I'm gonna call it yet. Is going to be $16. Then I have this guy. I know I haven't priced out yet because I just made him yesterday. Little Stegosaurus. This is from the same place as the little Triceratops pattern. What is that website called? Is it like Amigurumi Today or something like that? I know I have the Triceratops pattern listed in my pattern list, and this is from the same website. So if you like this little stego, now I didn't do what they asked for the spikes on the tail and the back. They had a specific way to do it, but I used Parfait Excel for the body and regular Parfait Chunky for the spikes because I didn't have a coordinating color I liked as much with this one. So I kind of went rogue and did my own thing for the spikes, and I just crocheted them directly into the back, kind of like you do with some of the axolotl patterns. So this guy, let's see, he was 67 grams of Parfait Excel, 30 grams of filling, 2 safety eyes, and also 15 minutes. So he'll wind up also probably being around $16 when I do the calculations for that. He's about the same amount of materials and time as the Octo. Next, I have this little Brontosaurus. This is one that's been on my Ribbler list for a while that I just never made. So it's been on my checklist. I just never made it. It did not come with a tail. This is what it looks like in the pattern. And I just wanted to give him a tail. So I added that on. So I think I actually made 2 of these guys. I made this one in blue. Well, I know there's another one in here. Oh, here it is. And then this one in the green. And these are both Chenille Home, which is essentially the same yarn as the Parfait XL. It's a size 7 weight, really chunky yarn. So these are much bigger than they would be if you made these with like Sweet Snuggles Light or Parfait Chunky or something like that. So those will also probably be $16 for those. Did I write that down? Oh, you know what? I think I may have actually done the calculation now. Let me find that one. Baby Dino. That's what it's called, Baby Dino. And it is, it's actually $20 because it took 30 minutes instead of 15 minutes. So it took about twice the amount of time as the Octo and the Stegosaurus. Here's another Octo in blue. Again, I love this pattern. It's so easy. And that's the All from Jade. She has it free on her blog. Then I have 2 of these giant tulips. This is a free pattern on Instagram. And this is a combination of the Parfait XL and the Chenille Home. And so like you can see that it's all interchangeable. It all just fits right in together. It's all the same size. So I think these are really fun. Giant tulips. And those are gonna be Jumbo Tulip, $35. They take a lot of filling and a little bit extra time. Let's see. Another thing I have in here. Oh yeah, I made a giant orange chicken. This is the Mabel chicken by Oak and Marlowe. Oh, she's got fluff on her. Here we go. Giant orange chicken by Oak and Marlowe. I don't think I've priced this one out yet. Did I? Let me look. She takes the same amount of time as the smaller chickens, but that jumbo yarn is a little bit more expensive. So like the normal Mabel chicken I sell for $15. So this giant Mabel chicken is probably going to be about $25 when all the material costs get calculated in. Let's see. Next. Oh, I have another. See, I really like this pattern. There's another Octo Squish, Jumbo Octo Squish. They're so easy. They're so fun. And then I have a Loaf Cat. This is another pattern that I've had sitting in my Ribbler for a while, not going anywhere. And I think he turned out okay. He's not my favorite. So I wrote down all the stuff for him. I have not figured out what I'm going to price him out as, but it looks like 55 grams of Parfait Excel, 20 grams of filling, 2 safety eyes, 15 minutes. So he'll probably be 16, just like the Octo Squish and the Stego, because it's like the same exact amount of materials and time as those two. So I don't know. He's okay. He's just not my favorite cat. I'm still looking for a cat pattern that I really like. I haven't found one that I'm like really enamored of yet. I may wind up making my own. Who knows? Okay, next I have the Cable and Canvas Mini Pop Jellies. They're not so mini when they're made in this jumbo yarn, but they are still just as much fun to play with, if not more so, because they're a much more like hands-on size. Like, these are just fun. I just love these. So these are also a really fast make. I think 30 minutes is all these take. So not quite as fast as the little Octo Squish. I mean, it's a little bit more detail. There's more to it, but they're still really fast. And I really like these. So these are going to be $25 is what these are going to be. And I have, I think 3. I may have more in the other bag, but so far 3 of these. And I've been doing them in like multiple colors because I've been kind of like getting down to just like the last little ball of the jumbo yarn on each of the colors that I had. So I'm kind of using the last little bits and bobs to make jellies with because they're so simple. I may make some more Octos too, just kind of split the leftover of the jumbo yarn between Octo Squish and Jelly Pops. Because I mean, these things they lend themselves to fun colors. They just really do. So having all mixed together colors is no big deal. Okay, so last thing in this bag is actually completely out of order, but it's a Christmas tree. And this was a free pattern that I followed on YouTube. And it didn't quite, it's very cute. I'm not gonna say it's not, but it didn't turn out quite like I was like intending. I was looking more for like one of those vintage ceramic Christmas trees that have the, you know, the big plastic colorful light bulbs all over them. That was kind of the look I was going for. And this is very cute, but it doesn't look like that. So this is more like a Christmas tree toy, which is fine. Totally fine. This one, did I write down? Where did I write down my stuff on this one? Oh yeah, 76 grams of burnout blanket and 28 grams of filling. And I haven't made a second one yet, so I haven't timed myself on this. And I also didn't count up like how many pom-poms I used, but these are just pom-poms from the dollar store, and I think it was like 90 of them in a pack for $1.25. So I mean, they add pennies to the cost. I might not even bother to calculate that in, honestly. So I do need to at some point make a second one of these, or else just guesstimate how much time it took me. I think it took me about 30-ish minutes. It does take a little bit extra time because you actually make the cone of the tree first, and then you go back in and add the ruffle around second. It's not like an integral part. It's not a sewn on. It's still a no-sew pattern. But you do have to crochet on top of stitches. Like you would, at certain points of the pattern, you do back loop only, and it leaves that front loop to put the ruffle onto. So yeah, so it does take a little extra time because you're kind of, it's like a 2-part process. So there's that. Put this back in this bag and put the jellies and all this back in because they're kind of trying to fall off the couch. I don't want them to fall on the floor. Y'all get back in your bag. I still have to tag all of these things. All of these things have to be tagged and put in my Square app and inventoried today because the market is tomorrow. And then I have to put them all in a giant bin because I've run out of room in all my other bins. So I have to break back out the giant bin that I didn't want to take to markets with me anymore. All right, so we have bag number 2. So we've had a giant box and now 2 giant bags. This one I just made last night. This, I was just trying out a pattern that I found online. It's for a nativity set. And the pattern was done in worsted weight, or no, cotton yarn. I think it was done in cotton yarn, like maybe a weight 3. So it was obviously very small. And I was thinking using, like, this is the Chanel Home Slim. Thinking using the Chanel Home Slim, it might get to be like this big because the original is, this big. So I was thinking more like triple the size, but a lot bigger than I expected. So this will probably not be a market item. Actually, no, this will definitely not be a market item. I do want to finish the set since I've made Mary. I want to go ahead and make Joseph and the baby in the manger. But it'll probably wind up being a gift, a Christmas present to someone. And I will work out another pattern that I like because I wanted to make smaller, just the creche scene, just Mary Joseph baby scene, not all of the creatures and everything that can be sold as a set for, baby's first nativity, kind of an idea. So they have a nativity set that they can have that's not breakable. Because a lot of us have, the very fancy high-end nativity sets that are easily broken. So that was the idea behind that. Then I did find another Christmas tree pattern that I really liked. There's another one I found free online. It's on a blog. So I will have to add that to the description of the pattern. So if anybody wants to try this one. This again is another one where you make the cone first and then you go in with the ruffles afterward. But these ruffles work in a continuous spiral. So you're not cutting between each row. And this became more the look that I was looking for. I like these a lot. And I will probably make more of these for the next upcoming Christmas markets that I'm going to. So these each took me about 40 minutes to complete. And I thought I weighed it, but I don't see it written down here. So I'm probably going to have to reweigh the next one that I make so that I have the material cost as well. But yeah, I'm going to guesstimate it's probably about the same amount of material as that other tree. And then with the 40 minutes, probably going to be in like the $25 price range. Probably. I'll work that up later so I can get a more accurate pricing. That's probably. Okay. And then I actually found this in my whips bag. And it needs eyes. It's not finished. And it's not as well stuffed as I like to stuff them now. So this might actually go into like a discount bin. Just like it is, honestly. Because it's not quite up to par with the way I make these now. It's not terrible. It's just not what I want them to be. So I'm gonna actually toss it in this other box over here for right now. It'll probably go in a discount box. And then I started making these twist headbands. I actually had an event that I was going to with my MOPS group, which is moms of preschoolers that meet at my church, and we were exchanging things that we had all made. and I made these twist headbands for that event, and I had so much fun making them that I wound up making a whole bunch more. So I have, let me pull out first the colors that I had made for the event. I can find the other green one. So I had this green one and this like pink and brown and gray, and then this off-white. I think they call it winter white. I had these three is what I took to the mom's market, and I made 2 each of those because that's what I had. This was like leftover yarn from making weighted baby cuddlers, and I didn't have enough of it, any of these colors to make another cuddler, so I just made headbands. And then after I made those 3, and that's from a pattern I found online, and I'm not going to link all these patterns because I'm not 100% sold on like which one I like best yet. I've been trying multiple different patterns. So then I made one out of this yarn, very brightly colored, one out of this yarn, another multicolor rainbow kind of dealio, and then I made 2 out of the Premier Just Chenille. So it's a little bit lighter weight of a headband, and this is using a different pattern than the other one, but still very, very soft and like a velvet headband. They're very nice to the feel. So that's 7 more of those. Yeah, 7 more of those. And those are $20 each for the velvet headbands, adult sized. And then I found all this. Oh, and then like I used the very last of that velvet yarn on a scrunchie, which is, velvet scrunchies are so nice. They just feel nice. And then I found a whole bunch of this gopher fur yarn tucked away in the bottoms of my bins, and I was just in a mood to be like using up stuff. So I made these. Here's another one of the velvet ones. So I made, how many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in this sort of frosted like mauve color, and 3 in this frosted black. It's like a frosted tip black fur. They're so soft, y'all. This yarn, I think it's the Lion Brand Gopher fur. It's so soft, and there's not a pattern in particular that I use for these. I just wrap it around one of the see if I can even expose it so you can see it. One of the black elastic hair ties, and I do double crochet 50 times around, and then I hook it back together and tie off the ends really, really good and hide them. So there's no real pattern to that. I could probably have gotten away with less than 50 times. I just like it. It gives it a little bit of a more rippled, fuller feel, I feel like. So yeah, so there were 7 of the mauve, 3 of the black, and then 2 of that leftover velvet. Hey, sorry about that little pause there. My husband called while I was in the middle of recording. He likes to check in on me while he's at work, which is very sweet of him. But I think I was pretty much done talking about that. Oh, the scrunchies. Yeah. So I made, how many did I say? I made 7 of the mauve, 3 of the black, and 2 of the white, like velvety kind of yarn. And I have some others still left from previous markets and stuff. So those are $5 each. And I was thinking of maybe putting a sign on to do a deal of like, I don't know, 3 for $12, something like that. Get people to buy some more of those. And then the very last thing I had in there, I actually haven't finished. I have to finish making it, but I had just the tiniest amount of this green yarn left, so I made a little green pumpkin. And this was from Cameron's Cute Creations Velvet Pumpkin tutorial. So it took, I don't know, 10 minutes to make, super fast. But I need to go get one of my cinnamon sticks, or I also have like some little wood pieces that I get from the Dollar Tree sometimes that look like little chopped up birch branches, and glue a stem down on there to finish this little guy. I don't know. I mean, he's kind of cute like he is. I don't know if he needs a stem. He might need a stem. I'll play around with it and figure it out. So that was the last thing I had. So that is everything I have made since the last time I have made. And it's also a market prep video because we talked about prices. So market tomorrow is actually the Purvis Street Festival, which is this like my hometown. So it's right down the road. It's really close. It's the 4th year in a row they've done it. There's over 200 vendors signed up, and they have locked down 2 whole streets in Purvis for this. So, and Purvis is a very small town. It's like a 2 stoplight kind of town, but this is a pretty big deal. So I'm really hoping it's going to bring out a crowd. The weather might play a factor. It's a little drizzly. It's been drizzly all day today, and the forecast is saying you're going to have a little bit of rain early in the day tomorrow, and then gray, cloudy skies throughout the rest of the day, with maybe more rain in the early evening. So, sometimes that can play a factor, but it may actually play a better role than I anticipate, because it's been warm lately. People don't necessarily want to be outside all day when it's on the warmer side. So being 75-ish and a little drizzly is a little bit more comfortable than being, 85 in the direct sun. So maybe it'll actually help things. Maybe. I don't know. I'm going to be out there anyway. So I may have to rethink how I do my setup, because I have my tent. It's a 10 by 10 pop-up tent, but it doesn't have a wall. It's just the tent. So I have to make sure my stuff is up like well under the edges of the tent to keep rain from getting on it. And I have a lot of display pieces. Like I have 2 4-foot tables. I have is it 4 foot? I think it's about a 4-foot wide shelving unit. It used to be a chip rack at a Subway store. And then I also have 2 of these metal grid walls that have like hanging shelves. Y'all have probably seen them in my TikTok videos when I pan through or whatever. That's like my main setup pieces, and they take up pretty much every bit of the space underneath my tent. So I may have to kind of condense down how much I set out, just to make sure there's enough space under the tent to keep everything up under there. I may not be able to use the grid walls. I may just use a table and the shelving unit, or 2 tables and a shelving unit. We shall see. Because if I do those in sort of a U shape, people can still kind of come in, and I can sit at the edge of one of the tables, and use the corner of the table as like my cash station, basically, and they can make the round of the U shape and see everything. Whereas if I bring out the grid walls, really the only place to put them is leaning up against the legs of the tent, and have weights on the tent legs to keep everything from falling over, because those are pretty heavy. And so they would be more exposed to the elements being right there on the edge like that. So I may not be able to use them, which is unfortunate, because I have a lot of stuff. Like, a lot of stuff. I haven't put into my spreadsheet all the stuff we just talked about right now. Some of it is in. But there's more that's going to go in. But even as it stands right now, I have $4,200 worth of inventory that I'm taking with me. Now, do I expect to sell out of most of this? No. I expect a lot of it to stick around and be there for the next market and the next one after that. I'm kind of hoping I have enough to see me through the next several markets. But you know what? If it all sells out at this one market and I cancel my next couple markets, then that's how that goes too. Or I just have whatever I can manage to make between now and then. You know, we do what we can. So I think that's all I really had to talk about for right now. So market tomorrow. I'll try to get some footage. I'm really terrible at footage at markets. I usually get a quick scan of it when I'm first set up, and then I'm usually too busy to do much else. And hopefully I will be too busy tomorrow to do much else, but I'll try and get another post-market recap up after everything is all said and done. And I will see y'all in the next video, whether it be that one or another everything I've made since the last time I've made, or even something to do with the rabbits, because we may have some more rabbit related stuff coming out soon. I hope y'all have a wonderful day, and go do something that makes you feel happy today. Bye.